Hello everyone, XPGames Zanel here, back with another Fire Emblem Builder tutorial, or FE Builder tutorial. Um, as you may have read in the title, today we're going to cover map design and unit placement. Well, those are two very important things when it comes to Fire Emblem hacking. If you want to make a hack that is enjoyable for everyone, then you gotta pay a little attention to map design and unit placement, because if you do unit placement wrong, you might either create a too difficult chapter or a too boring one. And the same goes for map design. If you design a map that makes you go from like this top left corner all the way to like the bottom right, but there are so much obstacles in the way that it takes 20 turns to get there, and it's only like chapter 2 or something, then one chapter gets dragged out a lot. Unless it's a very short hack, that is not what you really want. So this episode is not so heavily focused on functions of FE Builder, but rather focused on how to design a map and how to place your units, as well as give you a little bit of an insight how that goes in FE Builder. So I'm not considering myself an expert, because even I have much to learn, seeing as I haven't released a lot of my hack yet, and I have yet to receive quite a huge amount of feedback. But I will be going over what I think are some good aspects to keep in mind when you design a chapter, as well as I will take a look with you guys at how to place enemies and how to do some fun stuff with enemies. So for this today, I will make a custom map, and I will put out some custom enemies. So let's go to chapter 4, Ancient Horrors. That is going to be the chapter we're going to design today. I'm not going to change any events, so we do need to take those two villages into consideration. We need to focus on these two villages because we need to place those on the map, because I only want to change the map, not the events. So let's click here on Map Editor, and let me quickly show you that screen. Where is it? There it is. So this is the map editor, and I'll zoom in on the map like this. Boom. Now you can see the map a whole lot better. The thing with the map designer is that you see all these little tiles over here. There's a lot. There are parts of a mountain. There's a parts of sea. There are fields and sand, and there are castles down here. What you need to know about designing a map in Fire Emblem Builder is that there are various tile sets you can choose from. This is the fields tile set, as you can see over here, and every single tile set might also have a different palette. So for an example, field has like 3 different palettes. That is the standard one. This is more a mountain / plains one. Reminds me a bit of FE7 Saké. This one is for a sunset map, where the river, of course, is yellow and the grass is a little bit different shade of green. I will be creating a map with this palette. And then we have like the dark forest in FE8, the dark forest-like palette, where you have the gray mountains over here and the purple water. And you also have, for an example, if you go to village, that is actually screwing everything up. That is because this is a whole different tile set. This is used for villages with boats. For an example, chapter 9, a distant blade from Erica's route, makes use of this tile set, as well as chapter 3, the bandits of Borgo, makes use of this village tile set. And you have a couple more. They mostly just change the water over here. But you also have one for a flashback, and then you have a castle, which is just Renee Castle, or whatever castle. Also for flashbacks, we have a castle. We have another plains. This one is even more Saké, seeing as you have this little tent over here, etc., etc. Then you have a fortress, which is different from a castle, slightly different from a castle, because some tiles are present in the fortress and not in the castle, and the other way around. And finally, we have things such as desert, which only has one palette. We have the lava tile set, where you go and you know, here's the Binding Blade, so that's very nice. Where you go fight Gorgons. This is inside the temple where you fight the Demon King. Even more mountains. This is the tile set of the Burn Mountains and of some of the Lagdao Ruin maps. It's like where you go to fight Murdoch. That's like this particular tile set. And when you go to the Shrine of Seals, that's the same map. Oh yeah, you have a different palette for that. I didn't even know. And then you have for like in FE6 they had this dragon tower thingy, as well as they use this in the Tower of Volney. Burn Castle and Grado Castle map, and also for like flashbacks and stuff. But we will go with the regular Fields one. With this one. Now, what I usually do when designing a map is you need to come up with something original. At least I think that you need to come up with something that is original. So what I usually do is these blue tiles, they don't look good and they will be extremely buggy in game. So what I just do to come up with an original concept is just place that blue everywhere. Just everywhere. And boom, this will be our new template. We'll work off this. What I then decide to do is, okay, what does the chapter become? Is it a simple route map? In this case, it is a route map. So that would mean that we do not necessarily have to place a castle, seeing as castles are meant for sieging. And since we're going to route, we really do not need that. So what I decide then is I'll just go around placing things. But what I want to do first is determine where I will place the mountains. So I just grab like a piece of a mountain and I'll be like, okay, I want a mountain to be like this or something. I want a mountain to I want this to be a mountain. You know? So this will become a mountain eventually, and I will teach you how to make a mountain. There's some pretty making mountains is probably the hardest thing when it comes to creating a map. Mountains are absolutely ridiculous. So I will already, before I forget, place a small mountain here. You also have these little mountains where you can stand on more easily. I'll put this in front, seeing as if I put like, what is it, a peak or a top here. As you can see, that doesn't really look good. I could zoom in a little. It just stops here. And there's a tile for that, which is this one, that sort of gives it a little peak, you know? A real peak, like the Mount Everest peak. I will not, like, I will not bore you with stupid facts like that. Let me fix this real quick. Alright. Doesn't look really look good, does it? No. This is way better. So that is the peak of the mountain before I forget. What might be nice to do next is create a river. Now I have something made up already. Let's just put a village in the over here. That might be a nice thing to do. And why not create another mountain next to the village, like over here? I'll make another mountain here, and this is the end of the mountain. I'll put that there. The village is very important, seeing as we need to do something with the tile changes. Where is it? Here, the tile changes. We need to do something with that. Tile changes are very important for designing a map. I will come to that later. So, next, I really want to make a river here. Let's just put a river over here and let's make it go down. Take this. Oh. Well, you know, that may look a bit better. Then you just go over here. You need the tile sets you grab. You can do whatever you want. Grab different ones. There are also tiles that do the same thing. For an example, we have like 4 of the same rivers here. Those are mostly there to be a little bit yeah, to be different from one another. Because if I go and like grab one specific tile of grass and put it everywhere, as you can see, it becomes very bland. So you need to mix that up a little so the maps do not become as bland. So there's that. Let's continue on. So I will draw this river. Keep drawing this river. Let's say it. Let's do this. Make it go down one more. Um, these corners are usually when you want to change the direction of the river. Then you just use those corners. Well, we could just do this. And then, like, I'm thinking, my brain is thinking about something cool that we can do with this map. Let's leave it like this. And we'll put a bridge here so we can cross the river. And finally, we'll place this here. So there we go. That's our little river. It separates the village from the main part of the map, and our player has to work around that. But I wanted to do something else, seeing as some people really like to clear a map fast. If you're an LTCer, you might want to complete a map fast, or if you're a speedrunner or just like playing FE very quickly, you might just want to get to this village very quickly. If you're going to put some good loot in here, then you just really want to get to that village early. So what I do is I'm going to place a snag here. What this snag will do is just stand here, and we'll make sure that it is able to be knocked over in a bit. We'll come to that in a jiffy. But for now, I do not really like how this river looks. Let me quickly try and make it a bit more. I don't really like the fact that it's just going one directional. This is a way more natural form for a river to flow, in my opinion, or in my eyes. So let's put a bridge here. You have to go a little bit more down now. Well, not a real big problem. So we actually do, if you do design a map and you want it to be a very big map, when you place rivers, you will actually split up a map in a huge. You will split a map up like I did. I cut all of this everything that is to the right of this river or up here. All of this will be separated from the rest of the map. So you need to make sure that if you design a map, if you want it to be a big one, you be a little bit careful with rivers. I took it a little bit loosely, so let's finish this mountain real quick. These tiles are for the left edge of a mountain. These darker ones are for the right side. So for an example, this tile is for the right side of the mountain. We could place another one here. We could do this. No, that's not this one there. And let's place a black. If you have some completely black or gray spot, you can place it near the mountain. It's a little bit of shading. There you go. And let's place a. What should we do? There are also some very interesting tiles over here you can play around with. This looks not that good, actually. Let's just quickly take a look. What if we do this? Looks horrible. How about this? No, that doesn't look good. I'll leave that for now because I'm not going to fill the entire episode making a map. So, before I go and place anything else, I might want to pull this river. You know, let's just do that. Let's get a we need a sort of intersection for the river, and we can do that by selecting these have two. There's a river flowing through a patch of grass. There's grass on two sides. If we want to create an intersection, we need grass on only one. So this one has grass on only one side. There you go. Now we've created an intersection, and we'll do like this. Grab a tile. Oh wait. We need to grab like this tile. Oh, wait, we need... Wait, what was I doing? What was I thinking? So we need to put it down here. What am I? Jesus. I'm not paying attention. That's really stupid. Let's place another river over here. Let's go like this. Create it. Let's make a bridge here. And then move the river over here. Make it go up again. And then, like... let's do this. And then the bridge ends here. There's where the water ends. So that's our river now. What we want to do now is... Let me quickly fix something. What we want to do now is we want to... that doesn't look good. We want to... not only finish this mountain, but we also wanted to expand the tile changes. So to expand tile changes... tile changes are very important. Because tile changes are always triggered when you do an event. So for an example, if we visit this village, we will get an item or we will recruit loot or something like that. It is important to note that if you visit this village, you have to set a tile change. Otherwise, this village can be visited unlimited times. This is... when you go and edit an event by just setting the event as dummy event, you will always automatically trigger, or the tile change will get triggered and you'll get the loot. But the tile change has to be triggered, otherwise you can infinitely visit this village. When breaking the snack doesn't fall. So that is something you gotta note. So... if we want to create tile changes so that our player cannot unlimitedly visit the village, we're going to expand tile changes, and we're actually going to save real quick. You will not see this window, but when you click on this, it says assign a new tile change or display the tile change settings setting screen. You can assign a new one for, let's say, you need on a map, you need 7 villages or 7 snacks, 7 broken walls, 7 chests, because chests are also here. You need 7 of those, but the map only has 5. Then you can go click on this, expand tile changes, assign a new tile change. You have to click that, and once you do that, you'll be able to create a new tile change. We're going to use, since there are some tile changes for like the village and the snack already, we're just going over here, main map, and we'll go to tile change 1. This is the destroyed village. The destroyed village, let's put that, you see, it is a 3x3 tile change. That is important to note. This destroyed village is for when brigands or bandits destroy villages. So, yeah. If they do that, then you have this... then this tile change will be triggered, so you cannot visit the village anymore. What you want to do is go to resize, and there's a little window that pops up. Let me quickly see if I can get that for you guys. Let's see. Let's see. I think this is... yeah, that's this little window over here. If I can quickly... if I can just... let's see, you're seeing something? Hold on. There we go. That's this little window. This little window is very small, because it's a little window. This contains the data of the tile change. So this is the X of the top left tile of the tile change. And this is the Y. You need a little play around with that. Just so you guys know, this is just the X and Y position. Very easy to understand, but you just need to, yeah, play around with it. You'll understand it yourself. I'm explaining it. When I explain it, it's probably really difficult to understand, but it really is not. Then you have the T, B, L, and R. These are for top, right, bottom, and left. as I said, the tile change was 3 by 3, so we can change its size over here. This is the current size of the tile change, the width and the height. The width is 3 and the height is 3, making it 9 tiles. If we press right, the width increases with 4, but if we press left, width also increases. That is because when I press left, an extra set of tiles will be generated at the left of our tile change, and when I press right, it will be generated at the right. You can also, if you want to make something smaller, because you thought it would be bigger, but if you want to make something smaller, you can change this to a negative number. We can also increase the top or bottom. It's the same as with left or right, but the top increases it at the top of the tile change and the bottom at the bottom. We're not going to change anything but the x coordinate. We're going to change that to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought it was 11. Well, we'll see. Alright, let me get back to the map real quick. There you go. So I'm going to press on change, and if it's correct, the tile change of the destroyed village should now overlap on the regular village. Let's look. And there we go, it overlaps. You need to calculate that a little bit, but as you can see, it now overlaps. Let me quickly close this window real quick. There's no need for that anymore. So now you know how to do tile changes. There are also other tile changes, like this is the snag, for an example. When you knock it over, the snag becomes a bridge tile. And there's also one for when you visit a village. That's just a simple gate that will prevent you from visiting again, and it will be placed over here. So I will now finish the map. I'll be back in a bit once I have finished the map, and then we'll go look at unit placement. I'll see you guys in a bit. So I have finished the map, and as you can see, it is now completely filled with everything. Every black or blue, one of these blue tiles have actually been filled with something else. I decided to place a second village, 2 snags. This is where the boss is going to be at the end of the map. This snag will grant a quicker way to access the boss, a little shortcut over here. There is a snag over here that just functions as a shortcut to this village. For the rest, as you can see, I've added these little field thingies with a different shade of color. I have sand over here and this little field kind of thingy. Now, the reason I didn't add those immediately, I didn't add the sand immediately to the map, is not because sand is rough, coarse, and irritating and it gets everywhere, but just because this sand, these little things, this looks like the continent of Africa, by the way. Thought it was funny to point out. But the sand and light grass tiles, they take a while to get into a good shape. Because, well, if I, for example, place sand here, that looks really out of place. You need to sort of make a figure with sand, but you also need to make sure that it converts into the grass. We're not making a desert chapter, so we need to have every single bit of sand or grass. We need to have the edges covered with the darker shade of green, so it looks a bit better. I've placed this village on a little cliff. I thought that would be a nice touch, as well as you would have to play the map a bit more to access the village. The reason I put these cliffs here is because otherwise this would be a little bit too open for my liking. So I decided to put these cliffs here. Also this cliff where we will send the reinforcements from. The reinforcements will come from here. And yeah, as I said, we have a shortcut here which allows you to move from the left side of the map to the right side. If you have a strategy revolving around getting your units to the right side of the map, you can do that. I have presented the player with 2 different ways to go, mainly 2, and with various shortcuts or different options along the way. I've placed a fortress here. Usually I'm a little bit more I'm a little bit more loose with placing fortresses, but I decided not to place too much fortresses this time. Oh, and this cliff over here is mainly for La Rochelle, Dazla, and Ranak, who will show up in this chapter. But for the rest, yeah, I'm kind of content with this map, actually. I was also planning to, on one point, release this map with tile changes and stuff intact. So if you like this map and you don't want to bother making a new one, I will release a link somewhere. I will put that in the description once I have decided where to post this map. So you can download this map for yourself and insert it into your ROM hack. With that being said, we have now created the map. We have 2 nice villages with tile changes and everything. The snacks have tile changes and everything. Let's start placing enemies. First, we'll write to ROM because that's important. Otherwise, our changes will not be saved. And let me quickly get the unit place window. So that is the unit place window. There you go. This is the unit place window. And I haven't refreshed this little... I'll make this a bit bigger so that you guys can see the map. I'll refresh the map real quick. There we go. The map has been refreshed, and as you can see, La Rochelle, Dasla, and Rannoch are out of place. Now, the reason they are is because the units are always set to a certain coordinate. And if you were not planning to change much about a chapter at all, you do still need to keep in mind unit placement. So, before we start placing our enemies over here, let us first go to loot before I forget. Because loot needs to be placed near this village. We'll place her here. And you see this arrow? I will explain what that arrow does in a bit. When we go to move La Rochelle, Dasla, and Rannoch. So let's place loot over here. So when you visit the village, loot will move out to this spot. Let's go to La Rochelle, Rannoch, and Dasla. We see over here, do not focus on any of this. Do not focus on all of the unit placement, on all these numbers and stuff. Focus only on this little box here, saying coordinate. The first coordinate is a unit starting position, and the second one is where the unit will move to when loaded. In the event editor, I have shown you that there is an event editor. You should check out a different episode for that, or just go and find a different tutorial for that if you want a little bit extra event editing. But in event editing, you can load units, and loading the units you can also use a function where loading units goes paired with immediately moving them. When you select that, loading units and immediately moving them, the starting position is where the units will spawn on the map, and then they will move to this coordinate, or the coordinate that is at the bottom of the list. That is where they will stop after being loaded. So La Rochelle, when the event starts, will spawn here and will make her move to this spot over here. Or no, let's place her in the forest. She will move to the forest. So she spawns here and moves into the forest. If we do not set this, if we only set one of these and a unit spawns in as a reinforcement, let's say La Rochelle spawns here and she has no second coordinate, second set of coordinates, then she would just pop in. Just pop in, no walking into the map or something. She will appear from thin air. And that is not what we want, because that looks a bit bad. That doesn't look very finished. And that is only used for when reinforcements spawn on fortresses. So let's pick Dasla, and let's put Dasla over here, and make Dasla move, well, just over here. That's fine. And Rannoch will move Rannoch. This is the second coordinate. The starting position of Rannoch is over here, and we'll move Rannoch in between the two. Nice and cozy up there. So now we've corrected the positions, and I've shown you how to use the movement kind of thingy. So now we want to place we're going to place the player. Oh, well, I'll do that. I'm going to place the player. Oh, wait, they're actually pretty solid already. No, wait. Molder is on a cliff, I think. Is Molder on a cliff? Hold on. And Colm is also, yeah, they're both on the cliff, so we need to correct that. Well, I could just place him over here. Let's go. And Seth is, let's place Seth over here. So now we've corrected the unit positions. This is where your units spawn, the player units, and we need to correct that. Otherwise, we'll run into trouble Seth will be up here and will be stuck here for the rest of the map. That's not nice. Alright, so that is that. So now we have the player placement set. Let's set the enemies. Now this is a monster chapter, so you do not have to focus too much on classes and weaponry. We, by the way, need to pick the chapter start event enemies, because if you pick the skirmish ones, those are only for skirmishes on the map. You're able to battle monsters on the map, on the world map, on certain maps you've played before. This set of units will be the those will be the units for those maps. So for an example, this is one of the 3 possible formations of enemies when you enter a skirmish on chapter 4 with one of the 2 armies. So we have this. We need to focus on this, the chapter start event over here. I think that this Revenant is placed quite well. I will, however, this Revenant, well, is a nice wake-up call, so you immediately take care of him. This White, or Bonewalker, I want to place you over here and give you a bow, if that is possible. So over here, I will quickly explain all of this. Let's place you for here for now. This is these are the stats of a unit. This is the unit number, and that is very important for setting a unit. Every character, for an example, Erica has her own number, Colm has her own, or Vanessa, that's Vanessa. Colm has his own number, and every single enemy also has their own number. For an example, we have this Bonewalker is number AC, but we have different, well, I could just show that here. We have different monster types, and those monster types are meant for there are different monsters, and those are by class, but also so some of these monsters, let's go to, I thought this goes on until C something. So let's see, it goes on till like, well, BD. BD is probably one of the endgame monsters, because this unit number is basically a character, and they also have growths themselves. Enemies have also growths behind the scenes, and could even have base stats. If that is the case, then these enemies will just have bonus stats and will be stronger. For an example, Monster BD is going to be stronger than... Which monster did we have? I thought it was AA. I'm not sure. AC. Well, let's put you in AC. Monsters of BD will, of course, be stronger than AC, because BD is meant to be a late-game monster. Then we have Unit State. We also have Commander. Commander is not that important unless you set an AI. You set AI to... where is it? Attack if enemy is in range of the commander. This will only trigger once you have set a commander here. And that commander is like, well, this is monster number 49. Monster number 49, if we make that the commander of this unit, then when his AI is set to move when unit gets in commander's range, then this unit will only move and only engage combat if any player character steps into the range of this monster. There are also other options of the AI, such as chance of action. This is just a random number, a percentage, and that is the percentage chance that this character will move or attack. You also have that for attacking only when adjacent. So the unit will get closer and closer, and unless the unit is adjacent to you, it will not attack. It will only attack if you wait next to it. Only then will it attack, and there's also percentage chance of it doing that. We have do not attacks. I do not really know what this does, but This do not attack is for Natasha and Citizen. That is for certain characters or certain classes, or for certain characters not to be attacked. For example, Natasha over here, 0D. Natasha has, or wait, I could actually look that up real quick. This is only used by one character in the game, and that is Joshua. Joshua will not attack Natasha. Only other characters. You could set that, and there's even an option in FE Builder to make your own custom AI. So if you want to make a character not targeted, because like, oh well, it is a soldier that has earned respect of the enemy army, and so no one attacks him, you could set that on a character. Let's go back to the actual enemies over here. So that is an option of AI. You're staying here. We also have an option to do not attack. I do not know what this is though. You also have a target only. It's completely the opposite. They will only attack character X, and they will always attack him. Chance of action 100%, and attack will always make sure the unit will always attack if it can. So no strategic movement or something, or no blocking, but if it can attack, it will. Attack if enemy is in half of unit's range. It speaks for itself. If a unit's range is 10, a unit will attack when an enemy is in 5 range of them. Is in range of commander, we already discussed that. Heal unit, this is for healers. Speaks for itself. Heal with alternating AI, that's an extra AI setting. Steel main, I think this is for thieves, but I do not know for sure. Do not move until door is open. I guess that is AI you could set. I do not see where it is useful for. We also have the summon. This is also do not attack. But the summon option is for the Demon King. I have actually screwed around, and it is possible to give this to an enemy too. If they have the summon option, they could just summon when this is set. It's very funny. We also have the movement. Well, move towards enemy, speaks for itself. Do not move. They will only move if you get into their range. They will go on assault. This is where they will move only if they are in your range. Attack village and treasure, then move towards enemy, and attack village and treasure, then move to escape point. There's a difference between these two. If, for an example, you set this one, you are able to put a unit in range. Let's say you set this on a brigand, and the brigand is like, well, let's say the brigand is over here. This is going to be our brigand, and the zombie is one of our player units. So I could quickly change that for the example. So let's make this a player unit real quick. If the AI is set to attack village and treasure, then move towards enemy, the enemy brigand, which is our archer in this case, will prioritize our player character over the village. While if we set the AI to attack village and treasure, then move to escape point, the enemy archer will prioritize the village over our player character. Most brigands in the early game make use of the first option to prioritize an enemy, and the pirates in, for an example, Chapter 9 Distant Blade, those pirates that come from the top, they will prioritize the village over the player units. So there is that. That's something you need to keep in mind when designing brigands. So we have, if possible, to attack into. This is also like speaking for itself, except Joshua, well, also speaks for itself. Random movement is where the unit just randomly goes anywhere. If you want a unit to be completely unpredictable, you should give him random movement. Move towards target speaks for itself. Go to escape point is for thieves. Target, terrain, throne, gates, well, speaks for itself. This is useful for if you have thieves that have already stolen loot. So they're like thieves on the map that drop an item, and you need the player to get to them in time. Otherwise, the thieves will escape with treasure. if they have already stolen it. That's where I see this used for. Move to destroy walls and snags. Well, speaks for itself as well. Move towards the enemy. This is like if you put a piranha in a glass case with water, and it is only targeting you. So when you go to the left side of the tank where you put the piranha in, the piranha will go to the left with you too. It's like it follows you. The enemy will follow you, even though it is blocked, even though the terrain doesn't allow it. So if I were, for an example, to have this monster over here, this monster would, if I blocked this off, let's say I made this a river, the monster would follow me. Let's say our unit is like here, the monster would go over here. If our unit is over here, the monster would move over there. They will try to get to you, but they can't. And regular AI disables that following, even though you can't reach. But that option, well, makes it so that they can do that. Really hard to explain. I shouldn't have used that example with the piranha. This is just wait one turn. If you do not want enemies to move immediately, you just use that wait one turn. And coordinate movement, that is like, I do not know where this is used. We could set this to wait one. So they will wait a turn and then they will engage combat. Alright, so let's go back to our skeleton over here. Let's see, we have recovery mode. Recovery mode is just when a unit gets beneath a certain amount of HP, they will go to a fortress or nearby healer. They will back out of combat or heal themselves with a vulnerary or something like that. That is recovery mode. Not in recovery mode is that the unit will not heal itself. And you can set different things such as when blah 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 blah. When your HP is 50%, it goes to heal full to full. If it's 80%, it goes to heal to full. When it's 30, you need to figure that out. It's really simple, but I'm explaining it in a way that you might think it's difficult. And we finally have retreat and don't retreat. When you set retreat or don't retreat, when you set it to don't retreat, the unit will always stay put. It will never move. That is for bosses. For an example, well, this one doesn't do that, but if we go to, for an example, Basma, or we change it into Bata, Bata will never move. He will always stay at this spot. That is what that don't retreat means. We have set our skeleton buddy over here, the spooky, scary skeleton. We have set that. Oh wait, we're going to set that to do not move. They will only move towards an enemy once the enemy gets into their range. Otherwise, they will not. And you know, you should get it by now, I guess. Finally, we have the prioritize damage. That is, there are different types. You have accuracy, so the unit will prefer will attack an opponent where they have the most hit against. Standard is just what the regular AI does, so what you see in Fire Emblem 8. Max damage is what I use for fighters and just glass cannons and damage dealers. They will prioritize the enemy they can deal the most damage against. Then we have, again, accuracy, or this is damage and accuracy. Damage and accuracy is basically the opponent will first prioritize damage, or will look which enemy they deal the most damage against, and then it will decide if it will go which enemy it does attack by looking at what has the most hit chance, which is somewhat the smartest. This is how a player would play, by first seeking damage and then the accuracy. And archers as well, they will target flyers mostly. They will prioritize flyers. That's this. I'll set that to archers. Mostly, most enemies use this prioritize damage standard. So that is that. We only need to discuss like level. You can set the level of the enemy. This level determines what level the enemy is when the chapter starts. Not the level set with character in character editor. No, this one does. This one decides this is a level 2 Bone Walker with a bow. We have the army. Well, you can set that to player. Green unit, NPC. Enemy, which is a red one, of course, and defeat. Then they will not show up at all. We could set this to green unit, but let's not do that. And we have class dependent and do not grow. Class dependent is for every generic enemy, and do not grow is for every boss. Every enemy that is not supposed to be a generic and be a unique boss. So Basba, for an example. Basba is or Bada in this case, is a unique brigand. That is why they do have the do not grow. This class dependent makes it so that they get generic stats and such. So there's that. I hope you understand all of this now. Now, I have explained all of that. What I'm going to do is place my moguls over here, or the monsters real quickly, since these are flying units, and it would be nice if they just spend a turn trying to approach the player, so the player has a bit to prepare, as well as these are flying enemies, so you do not have to worry about them. You do not have to worry about these flying enemies not being able to cross certain parts of terrain, because they can fly. That's easy. We'll put the boss over here in the forest. Now, what I want to do is move this zombie away from the boss, because this boss will attack the nearest enemy. So we do not want any other enemy to be here, otherwise it will get too busy in here, and you will be... And it will be a lot more difficult to kill the boss, seeing as there are two enemies, twice the risk. We're going to put you on Do Not Move, and we're going to put you on Don't Retreat. So this monster, this zombie, somewhat guards the bridge. I'll actually change this white. I will change you into a mogul real quick. In the mountain. I think that is quite an interesting thing to do. I will change you to a mogul. Or we could change, no, we'll change you into a spider. That might be a little bit more interesting. Let's grab, there's a spider over here. Let's grab this spider real quick. We'll put you in the mountain. Which one, this one. Wait, no, it was this one. We had two of those. Let's put you over here, and you have now, you sir, have now become a spider. Spiders can move in mountains. We'll make it so that he moves towards enemy. Once the spider comes down from the mountain, you will already be prepared. Let's see, he is level 7 though. Also, a really nice function of FE Builder, when a unit is class dependent or unit dependent, when changing this level, you will see the stats grow with the level. So that's a nice thing, nice feature. I really like that about this tool. We'll put one of the zombies here. We'll put another one here. It's getting a bit busy over here. We'll put one of you here. We'll put a zombie over here. One of I'll just put let's just let this white stand here. They do not move. We need to approach them. But I want this one, or actually one of them. This one will move towards us. And these will too, right? No. This one will not. This one will wait. That's good. We do not need all the moguls to immediately come at us. That's not favorable. So that is that. Now we have set all the enemies. I will set reinforcements, but I'll do that off screen because this is already getting a bit too long. I will give this guy a bow. Alright, so now we have set all of the enemies. As you can see, I've spread them out. The starting area is pretty clean. That is because putting too much enemies in the starting area will overload the player with units, making their very first turns, which are quite crucial to developing a strategy, making them very limited. Or the options very limited. So, let's see. Before I go for a little break, I want to explain reinforcements. These reinforcements will come at turn 2, and I will make them come from, like, the left side, I think. They will come from the left here and approach us, which I think is a nice thing. And they trigger on turn 2. This is a these enemies are triggered by the. I will put you to retreat because I want you guys to come from here. This is a ranged event. When the art characters get into a certain range, these enemies will appear. Not earlier. And when they have appeared, they will stop appearing as well. So when, let's say, the range is like this area over here, once they enter that area, these enemies will appear. That is what these guys do. That's why the turn says 1 until 255. So there is that. That is actually the enemy placement. I'm going to fix a little bit of that, fix the enemy placement. I'll be right back, and then we're going to test our chapter. Alright, so now I have set all of the enemies at certain positions. The skeletons will come from here, and the zombies will come from here. What I forgot to tell you guys was the option to let an enemy drop an item. That's over here. If you say item drop, it will pop up a little window saying, do you want to drop items when you defeat this enemy? When dropping an item, items that you have at the very end are eligible, which just means the last item in the inventory, so for an example, that would be 6C, this will be the item dropped. If we would place another vulnerary here, item 3 would be dropped. So the last item will be dropped. Let's put this to yes. We would otherwise have to steal that, but let's put this to yes. So now we have actually placed all of our characters. Let's go and test this chapter if everything seems to work fine. That means that we're going to visit all the villages, we're going to break all the snacks, and see if all the enemies behave like we want them to. So let's open the... visible for you guys too. Let's see. I'm going to grab it now. If correct, you can... oh, that's a little bit too big. Hold on. There we go. It has to do with zooming in and stuff. So let's go. And let's skip all of this. Fire Emblem, the Sacred Stones. Let's go. What happens if I zoom in, though? This should make it a bit better. Let's zoom this out. I'm sorry. I have changed my settings for the emulator for better quality. Oh, hey. This should be better. Let's just stretch it to screen. There we go. Makes it look a bit better. So, let's go to Restart Chapter Ancient Horrors. Let's skip all of this. This is our party, by the way. Hey, how you doing, Mace? Let's go to this chapter. I have not edited the cutscenes, so units will move a bit weird. Oh, Seth is still a weird sniper. Let's see. Yeah, well, this is the characters we have here. Let's bench Nami, because Nami bad. Oh, supports. As you can see, I've changed the preparations. The characters are in different positions now. Arthur is in a different position now. And the enemies over here are also in different positions. So, why don't we get started? Let's save real quick. And let's start. Hello. So this archer, or Bonewalker, will only move if we get into his range. Shouldn't be a big problem for now. Let's just attack real quick. We're going to do a bit of gameplay, because that's what you guys have been waiting for. Okay. Thank you for missing Garcia. Let's get Vanessa over here. By making the starting area quite calm, we actually have the option to put some of our units, or to let some of our units attack the snag over here, for an example, by making the area a bit more calm, which was something I was aiming for. We could have France. The map is also designed the way that, since this is an early game map, we can choke at the bridge. So let's choke at the bridge, shall we? Oh wait. Only France seems to has 2 vulneraries. That means that Gilliam only has 1. Let's do this. Seth. Let's summon a Phantom. Phantoms are flying units, so we can fly over. Let's put you over here, and we'll break the snag. And now, with my genius tactics, we have also blocked off this zombie, or revenant. Let's put Arthur over here. Can take care of the moguls now. And let's put Mulder, like, over here. So the calm starting area. Crafty with our strategies. Franz is protecting the bridge. Let's speed this up because combat. There we go. Nice going, Phantom. Franz is doing fine. He's on fire. Bad level up. That's not nice. Our Phantom died and reinforcements appeared from the left. This spider is somewhat on a timer. You could also replace this with a brigand so that the player will stop turtling and this brigand will move towards this village. You could also do that. Let's put Arthur on this snag so that he can take care of these guys. And we could keep choking the bridge, but if you would place a brigand where the spider was, you would make sure that the player starts moving. That's just a tip. Let's place myself over here and use a Shamshir because I want to get a critical hit, and why not? There we go. I'm still a girl, but I don't mind. I haven't loaded a combat animation. There we go. Very nice. These are base growths, I thought. And if not, then, well, if these are base growths, Erica had a pretty decent level up. Nice. Let's summon another Phantom. The placement of this eye is pretty interesting because it will present the player with a, like a situation where they're not able to attack the opponent and they need to lure them away from this position, since this position is utmost favorable for the enemy, seeing as they are on a position that you cannot counterattack only with 2 range. Let's kill this mogul. With our Phantom, we can actually have the Phantom visit the village, but then he will steal an iron axe, and he already has one, so let's not do that. How does Mace do? Mace does not do that well. Let's keep you over here. I do not want to choke the bridge over here because otherwise the monster will attack Franz or Gilliam. So let's put it like this. It's also choke. Like, who is damaged? Oh, Garcia is damaged. Yeah, let's go. Let's see, the enemy's closing in. And they all have lances. The enemies advance pretty quickly. Oh, this is kind of an issue. Not really. Okay, nice one. Nice one, Mace. Or Ross, actually. What, Mace? And there we go. We have, La Rochelle. We have placed her... Let me fix that real quick. So what that is just an issue with La Rochelle. I think not being able to... they're not able to go back. That's an issue in the event editor. Let me quickly fix that. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I fixed it. It should go fine now. There we go. So, by the way, I also clicked that away just in time, otherwise we would get a really annoying ear rape. But luckily, I managed to, fix that. We need to watch out for this monster, actually. So let's put Gilliam over here. Franz retreat. We will heal you with Mulder. And again, we have provided, the enemy with a small push. So when sending a lot of units to the right, the player might get a bit overwhelmed. Catching them off guard, which is kind of a good idea, I guess. Why do you not have a hand axe? That actually is really dumb. We could, however, if we are going to do a clever strategy, let's put you over here. There we go. That is way better. Vanessa's too weak. Oh, God. Garcia, you're not having your day. This is also a kill. There we go. So that is that. Oh god, Molder's in range. Oh no. Let's see, where do you reach? Let's put myself... Does this Mogul go to the... Yeah, difficult. Let's put Archer over here, and I'll put myself behind him. Okay, this should be fine. Oh, especially since he dodged. The Mogul shouldn't do that much damage. Okay, so if that spider was a brigand, he would be getting very close to the village. So we need, as the player, we would need to hurry up, seeing as it is already, at the end of this turn, it's going to reach over there. If it were a brigand, which would put the player on a timer. Let's finish you off real quick. Yeah, this is also fine. I do not really care too much about... I do not really care too much about us or about the animations and stuff. I care a lot more about freaking getting the map completed. So let's let Seth deal with this Mogul over here. I have made a tutorial to insert pallets. I was thinking, why did Seth not have one? Let's put Gilliam over here. Oh, we should break the other snag as well, just to see if that is possible. Who needs to heal? Garcia. Well, let's heal Garcia, or whatever. There we go. Skip the enemy phase real quick. Ouch. So if we get in any certain range, then the enemy will attack us. We could visit this village real quick. So we get this axe. Very nice. This spider deals a lot of damage. That's actually quite scary. Maybe we can have Garcia do something? Not really. Who is the higher strength of you two? 9 and 8. But I think, Franz doubles. So let's just check out if we can kill this spider. Because he deals a lot of damage. Holy shit, Franz almost dies here. Let's just do this. Hope he dodges. There we go. Very nice. We need to watch out with Molder. Heal Franz. Here we go. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. Let's get loot. And if correct, yeah, loot just spawns over here. I explained how that works. Let's put myself over here. And it might be that the enemy zombies start spawning next turn. So when we just think we're done, more reinforcements appear. That might be a thing that happens. But I'm not sure, though. Let's move the rest of the gang over here. Aha, there they are. Good day, sir. Let's put... Where do these guys... Okay, let's put you... Mace, hatchet, and Franz over here. Gilliam should be fine. If he dies, then I'm disappointed. Let's put myself in the forest over here, trying to tank the opponents with my dodgy skills. Summon a phantom so that we can actually distract some of them. Alright, there we go. Now let's see what happens. They go up for the phantom. This one deals 0 damage. Very nice. Oh, this one is stationary, actually. I just remembered. We could attack this guy, so bye. Vanessa, take out this zombie over here. Oh, very nice. An 8% crit. Lucky me. Yeah, we could just finish these guys off. But since we've split up, we need to be very careful with who we're going to use. Franz can finish this. Well, Franz actually doubles, so let him finish off this zombie over here. Or Revenant, whatever. And then Gilliam can finish off this guy. Perfect. We have spent all of our units. We could have also used the Phantom, maybe. Let's heal Gilliam real quick. Alright, and now let's just lure this guy out. I can let myself actually engage this monster guy. Oh, I really want to put myself in the mountain. That gives me a lot of advantages. So let's put myself in the mountains. And let's Franz deal with this guy. Wait, let's go. If correct, the boss should attack me now. Uh-oh. Well, there we go. That's very nice. Lucky level up. A very lucky level up. So, yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you design a map and how you do unit placement in Fire Emblem Builder and Fire Emblem Game Boy Advanced. I've been happy to show you how it works. I am XPGamesNL. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and liking the video if you like this content. I will release more of these if I feel like it, and I think you guys enjoy these because they are really popular videos. Anyway, I hope you've learned something today, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye bye!